Hey there, Janae with Palin Projects here, and in this video I'm going to be planting up my roses. I got 4 roses. Technically I got 2 from Costco, and then my mother-in-law got 2 and we swapped. Costco was doing a deal. I don't even remember how much the roses were, like 30 bucks for 2 of them, and they were 2 of the same variety, and so we got 4 different ones, and then we have 4 to put into our own garden. I'll give you the details after I'm done, but I pre-dug holes because this is my half moon garden. It's in ground and our ground is super rocky, so I mean it took me probably 45 minutes to dig these holes, and I'm not even sure if they're deep enough. I'm gonna toss some Biotone starter fertilizer. You guys can't see it, it's out of the camera lens. It's in a Tidy Cat container just because it's waterproof, and the bag, you have to tear up open the bag, and it isn't resealable, or at least the one that I have isn't resealable. So sassy, you're shedding. So I toss it in a Tidy Cat container, and then I label it Biotone to not confuse it with other Tidy Cat containers that we have laying around. Biotone starter fertilizer in the bottom of the hole, and then I will water them in. I need to find a hose. But I will water them in nice and deep as well, so that they're introduced into their environment in a good way. I have had these roses for a couple of months. We've just been kind of crazy with our temperatures, as everyone has been this year, and so I haven't gotten them in the ground because I was afraid for the temperatures. They did leaf out fairly quickly, and you know, it was touch and go there for a while. We were bringing them in and out of the house at night and in the morning, so some of that one right there has leaves on it and is looking good. The one behind it is looking good as well, which I think that one's my favorite. There's a blue one, guys. That one's my favorite. But these 2 over here are kind of touch and go. I did decide, you know, I want to do a lavender hedge along the grass line in this half moon garden, and then I did decide what I wanted to do with it fully. I was kind of, you know, on the fence on what I wanted to put in here. I knew I wanted to put a whole bunch of perennials in here, but originally we had decided that this was going to be the entrance to my glass greenhouse, and that plan has since changed. So I do have, you know, 2 plums. I have my flowering Russian almonds, and I just planted all of that lavender with you guys, and the gaillardia, which should reseed itself. Mama bird is ticked off at me, by the way, too. Or daddy, that's daddy. We have little birds in our birdhouse as well, which is exciting. But it makes it hard to work over here because dad just gets ticked every time I do something. So honestly, the half moon hasn't been fully weeded or composted at this time, and it's actually really hard to work over here because I just get sassed constantly by these birds. Anywho, regardless, I have the flowering Russian almonds. I want to do the lavender hedge. I have my gold medal rose, which I forgot to mulch this winter, and so it might be dead, guys. Roses in our climate have to be mulched, so I have like a little cage, and then you toss straw in with it. And you know, I've been having a lot of these moments lately, but life got busy. You know, we have a toddler, we have 2 dogs, we have a cat, we have life, and you know, it's just one of the things that got missed this fall, unfortunately. I meant to make a whole bunch of cages to be able to prop peonies up with, and mulch roses and other stuff that needs to be mulched, and I just didn't get around to it. And then the snow came, and it was kind of like, well, that stinks. So we'll see if that gold medal rose comes back. Honestly, it bloomed a ton last year. I had like 4 or 5 beautiful roses on it. I mean, just massive, beautiful roses, and I hope it comes back. But it didn't do as great as I thought it was going to do. I thought it was going to leaf out more and just produce more, but I think, if I remember correctly, I think the earwigs got to it and damaged the leaves, and so it was already compromised, which is no excuse. I should have mulched it to try and save it, but it was already compromised. It didn't have a lot of leaves, and it struggled last summer, so if it doesn't come back, I'll pull it out and probably get another rose to put in its place, because I am going to make this into my rose garden slash probably herb garden as well. Since I'm doing lavender, I probably will put some perennial herbs in it. But I really want to make this a beautiful place and have just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous roses, which as you can see, I put 2 here and 2 there, which leaves the middle open for something very beautiful and something that I'm very excited about. But I want to do a separate video because I'm so excited about it that I think it deserves its own video. So next video, possibly, will be my big reveal on that project. But for now, let's get into planting these roses. Again, Biotone starter fertilizer. I'm going to take the plastic off and plant them at the crown, or a little below the level of the dirt will be a little below the crown, just so that that crown isn't susceptible to rot. I know some people plant that crown underground, but these aren't what's the word? They're not, it's on the tip of my tongue, guys. I want to say propagated, and that's not the right word. I'll put the word up on the screen that I'm trying to think of. But they're from their own rootstock. So, grafted, that's the word, haha. They're not a grafted rose. The rootstock is this rose. So I don't have to worry about that rootstock dying back and whatnot. Here in our climate, grafted roses, grafted anything just doesn't do well. It, Shelby, it constantly dies back to the original rootstock. So that's one thing that I have to watch out for when buying roses, is that I don't buy grafted roses. I buy the original rootstock roses and or other plants and plant those, because the tops just die off. So but yes, I will be planting these like at the crown of the rose at soil level, and then as you can see, the drip is already run to this area as well. It just has to be hooked up. We haven't turned our drip on this year because it's been so rainy and so cold. So that's how I'll plant these. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so I just got done planting the roses. They were covered in plastic, as you saw, and then I didn't realize, but they had cardboard covering them as well. So I took that cardboard off. I just don't trust cardboard to break down in our climate, to be honest. Anything like that, burlap, cardboard, anything that comes covering root balls, I just take off as a precautionary measure. I know some places say that you don't have to, that it'll degrade, yada, yada, yada. I don't trust it too, and I don't want to risk the life of my plant on, you know, it degrading and or breaking down in, not degrading, but breaking down in my soil. So I just remove it and call it good, throw it away, compost the cardboard maybe, we'll see. But let me throw some pictures up on the screen. These roses are their own root, like I said before, so they're not grafted. They are rated down to my zone, which is a zone 5. I operate like I'm a zone 4 or 3 though, so they are rated, I think, down to a zone 4. I'll have to check the boxes, which there's 2 boxes back there. But I took pictures of the 4 boxes. I'll put them on the screen. The first one is a Tiffany. It's a hybrid tea, very fragrant, deep pink blooms, shaded yellow, long, strong stems, dark foliage. The other pink one is a Perfume Delight. It's more of like a fuchsia pink. It's a hybrid tea, bright, deep pink blooms with spicy fragrance on long, strong stems, hardy, leathery, olive green foliage. My favorite is Blue Girl. It's a hybrid tea, well-formed silvery lilac blue blooms are large and fragrant. Bush is vigorous, disease-resistant with dark green foliage. And Midas Touch, hybrid tea, large neon yellow flowers hold their color well in all types of weather. Moderately fruity fragrance, glossy, dark foliage on a prolific plant. So I'm looking forward to these 4 new roses in my garden. I don't have a ton of roses at this point. If that gold medal rose survives, I will have 6 roses. I have the climbing rose on a trellis in the back row, and then the gold medal, and then these 4. I do want more roses in my garden. I think they're beautiful, and I love the look of them. Not necessarily for cutting purposes, but just for my enjoyment. So if you have any questions about these roses, or you know, anything that I did today, please put a comment down below, and I would be happy to explain my process a little bit further if I wasn't clear. So I hope you enjoyed watching though, and I will see you in the next project. Thanks guys, bye.